and then we start into whatever. Now I am recording right now. I usually would not say the and we start into whatever part. So it's a, hey everybody, BTO Pro here. Today I'm going to show you an upload issue that I ran into recently, and it was really inefficient on my part, and I want to do my courses as fluidly as possible. So what we're looking at right now is a terminal window, and we're inside of our mono repo. If you don't know what a mono repo is, don't worry about it. But what I'm actually looking at is available out here on GitHub. So you can see that I have this GitHub repository. GitHub's a really good platform for sharing code and having project management around code, posting issues, working on things collaboratively. But this is called a mono repo because it's actually a lot of different projects in one repository. So this actually contains about 200 some odd NPM assets. Again, if you don't know what NPM is, no big deal. It's basically just a big listing of reusable code at a location called npmjs.com. So that other developers can run a single command and get access to any of my work in its little pieces. So the reason that you have this difference between something like NPM, where code lives for other people to use, and GitHub is that GitHub is kind of your work in progress. That's me saying, oh, I'm trying to figure this out. I might go and have a pull request come in, which we'll talk about next week, from another person on the team. And this is coming from McGarvel. He's taking an independent study, and he says, okay, well, we should use this symbolically linked thing. And so you can imagine we're working as a team around just making sure all this stuff works, but we'll hit a certain point and be like, you know what, we want to ship this out the door to solve a problem. And so once we get to that point, we'll run a command which will kick a file out to NPM. But that's all the precursor stuff to this. What we're actually trying to get at is that upload thing. So the upload thing is in a project called HacksBody. Cool shortcut for terminal. I'm going to run code and period, and it's going to pop open a window that shows me VS Code right at what I was looking at. So we can see what I was working on before. Now, like an idiot, I hard code things into the page, like console messages. I should take those out. But I hard code other things like the words that are allowed. And so basically what was happening is I was trying to upload a .md file, which is a common extension for if you're working with Markdown. Now, we'll get into Markdown a little bit this semester, but the idea is I wasn't able to actually upload the file because it said .md. .md is a completely safe extension. So what I had to do is go in and do some logic that just ensured that we didn't only accept MP3s. It shows you kind of where our heads were with this. I don't even think we have anything for MP4 or video, because we just assume if you're using a video in our system, you're probably putting it on YouTube. Now, that could be an unsafe assumption. But effectively, reading this code here, if you're not familiar with code, and don't worry about this, isn't like a code-heavy class at all, but I have a function say, hey, guess what the type of this is. It tries to guess what it is effectively. If it guesses, hey, that file has an MP3 at the end, all right, it's an audio file. If it has one of the several common image extensions, then it's an image file. So I added an additional Markdown thing to the list, doing local development. We run a command called yarn start. Yarn is a replacement for NPM. Again, not things you need to install, but there's like a ton of buzzwords in technology if you haven't noticed. So this fires up our demonstration space. And so the difference between about 10 a.m. and 12 a.m. today is that when I would open this up, and it's running pretty slowly at the moment, unfortunately, because of just all the screen recording software going on at the moment, I would hit upload media, and it would do something. The other fun part of live demos is sometimes having these segments where nothing happens. Hey, there it is. And then I would do reference a .md file. And as a result of referencing a .md file and hitting save, this pulled in a Markdown file from some other location. So that was the goal of what I was trying to go for. If you have any other questions or like things that you're looking for as far as file types and when they're currently not supported in our projects, make sure that you jump into our issue queues on GitHub. You can usually find them off of the ElmsLN organization. So I'm BTO Pro. I'll be here next week to record another video about teaching with technology.